Welcome, y'all. It's Wes with DIY Food Plot Pro. Thank you so much for joining us. On today's episode, we are talking about how to consistently beat a mature buck's nose. There are hundreds of different products out there to beat a mature buck's nose, but I have found one that works every single time when used correctly. My name is Wes. I run the channel DIY Food Plot Pro. I've got a Bachelor of Science in Agronomy. I farm for a living, and I've got a 2,900 acre whitetail deer hunting outfitter in Western Kentucky where we cannot bait. So we rely heavily on the food plots to harvest and hold the mature bucks that we are blessed to hunt here in Western Kentucky. When I started making this video, I started thinking back to all the products that have been used over the years at the outfit. I'm blessed to be able to get to talk to many hunters and to get to see this in real life form of what products work and what products don't. There are tons of different products out there targeted to either block the nose of the whitetail or to blend in. There's cover scents, all kinds of different stuff. Now I'm gonna tell you what regiment that I use that I believe works without a shadow of a doubt every single time. It is not a new product, been around many years, but a lot of folks don't use it correctly and they don't have the results that they would if they used this product correctly. So on the 2,900 acres, I get whitetail deer hunters that come in every year, and they all swear by their product, right? They swear by this, they swear by that. They think that this will block them, this will cover that scent up where that whitetail is so flooded with scents that he can't smell the human scent. Others try to blend in. They take cedar limbs and they wrap their clothes in cedar limbs and they put all kinds of different things on their clothes to try to blend that in. And I do think that we as deer hunters need to take as much of a proactive approach as we possibly can to keeping our scent to a minimum. But I don't know that a lot of those products are working like we really hope that they would. The most surefire way of always beating a mature buck's nose is to hunt the wind. And this may seem elementary to a lot of folks, but there's a ton of folks that don't realize this. In order for us to be successful as whitetail hunters, we have to position these stands in a way that we're on the downwind side of him. Meaning if our wind is blowing to him, I don't know of a single product that is going to fool his nose when his senses are wide open and he is thinking with his head. There's not a scent out there that's going to block that from that whitetail, and he's not gonna know. I know what I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get a bunch of people commenting, say, hey, I used this during the rut and it worked. He's not thinking with his head during the rut. So that's not a fair assessment on that. He is thinking about one thing during that thing and his guards are way down during the rut. I'm talking about during September, October, when his guard is all the way up where it normally stays, not during that 2 to 3 week spell during the rut. But I'm talking about a mature buck's nose, 4, 5, 6-year-old buck during October when his senses and his guards are fully up. If your scent is blowing to him and he catches it, I don't care what you have on, what kind of scent control you have on, he's gonna bust you. No question about it, he's gonna bust you. I've seen so many guys come into the outfit and they've got this product here and all this product works. Yeah, 100% it works. I don't test it. I say, well, it's not gonna work here unless something accidentally gets behind you, because we play the wind, we hunt the wind here. That is such a huge thing in hunting mature bucks, is playing the wind and hunting the wind. Every single stand or blind I have set up 4 wind directions. So I have a notebook that I keep with me during the hunting season when I'm running the outfit. And I've got every single blind and stand listed. Right next to those, I have the wind directions needed to hunt those stands to be able to keep our scent out of that area. One huge thing that deer hunters don't pay attention to is a deer-free zone for us to throw our scent into. These work really well for ag fields. And that is one reason that mainly we set up on the edges of these ag fields in cover, but we've got a good zone that should be deer-free for the most part to be able to throw our scent into and not get busted out. Talk to hunters and they try to set up a food plot or a stand location in the center of the farm. Which way's your scent blowing that's not gonna booger stuff? Well, I don't really know. And then you hear the guys that say, well, it's just does. You don't worry about does too much. Well, what are you hunting during the rut? I mean, we're obviously trying to kill those bucks, but what's bringing those bucks into that farm? The does. You bump the does, you consistently bump the does. Their alerts are extremely high. The best thing that we can do as deer hunters is to practice good scent control as much as we possibly can. I let my clothes sit out for 3 to 4 days outside, hanging up away from all human scent to get as much scent off of that. I take my bag that I keep my clothes in and I let it sit outside as well. After 3 or 4 days, I'll put all that in a bag, I'll zip it up, never to be opened again until I'm ready to go out hunting. It's really important to note that we don't really want to put our clothes on until we get to the field. We don't want to put our clothes on and then stop at the 7-Eleven and get a sausage biscuit and a cinnamon roll. Well, all of a sudden we've got all kinds of scent. We've got gas fumes if we pumped any fuel all over us, and we all know how hard that is to get off of it. We really need to take this to another level as far as trying to prepare, trying to keep our scent down as much as we possibly can. But the reality of it is we can't eliminate our human scent. Don't care what product that we have, what we are using to control that scent, whether it's a clothing, whether it's a spray to kill scent, we can't eliminate human scent. The one thing that we can do is to try to take as much of a proactive approach as we possibly can, try to keep our scent down as much as we can, and hunt the correct stands for the wind direction that we have. Well, that's one thing that cell cameras, I think, are helping a lot of deer get by, because these deer show up on a lot of these sets when we can't hunt there. So what does that make us want to do? We'll just go in there and try to get him. We'll get him today and we won't booger it up too bad. Well, what if you don't get him today? Then all of a sudden you've sent your scent all into an area that might be your refuge, that might be your area that you're using as your sanctuary, trying to keep human intrusion out. You just sent all your scent into it. So playing the wind is a huge deal. When I'm doing my farm visits in the wintertime and doing these consultations, that's one of the main things that we look at is how do we get in, what winds can we hunt this stand, and where does our scent need to be blowing that we're not going to get busted on the downwind side of that. Okay, so that's all part of setting these stands up. And if we're getting blown at in our stand, likely we're too deep, or we're too deep for what I want to do if we're getting busted in these stands consistently. So that's just something to think about. That's how we beat a mature buck's nose every single time. We have stands set up for every wind direction, and we only hunt the stands on the given wind that we have for that day. So if you need help setting up your farms, you can go to my website, www.diyfoodplotpro.com. I have got a property visit that I'll come to your property and we'll set this thing up. We'll set the food up. I'll help you with the food plots. We'll set you up with the cover, the TSI, everything needed to take your property to the next level as far as whitetail deer hunting. I'd be glad to come to your property, to meet you, to walk around with you, to see what your area has to offer, what is the limiting factor on your property, what do we think some things that would take that property to the next level. If that's something that interests you, you can go to www.diyfoodplotpro.com and click on contact us and set up a property visit. I'm going all over the US this year, so chances are I will be in your neighborhood at some point this winter, starting in about January. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Y'all smash that like and subscribe button.